Stop inviting death. If avoiding death is avoiding life, dodging life is inviting death. For most people, if life becomes unpleasant or burdensome, then knowingly or unknowingly they start dodging life. Once you start dodging life, you are invariably inviting death. There is no better method in the world to dodge life except to invite death. Either you do it consciously or you do it unconsciously. One major contribution to the multiple complex ailments that you see on the planet these days is that people are trying to dodge life, and in the process are inviting death. The body is only cooperating with this. The body is just fulfilling your desire to invite death. Ask and it shall happen. People are trying to avoid life because they think it's unsafe. You should know that the only safe place on the planet is your grave. Nothing happens there. There is no safety in life itself. Like I said earlier, tomorrow morning you may be dead no matter how much security you create for yourself. I'm not wishing you this, but it does not matter how healthy you are, how well you are right now. Tomorrow you may be dead. It is a real possibility. So there is no such thing as security in this life. The moment you start seeking security, naturally you become death oriented. Unknowingly, you will seek death. In India, it's a tradition that whenever you see a sage or a saint, you should not miss the opportunity to get their blessings. So many times people come to me and say, Sadhguru, please bless me that nothing should happen to me. Really? What kind of a blessing is this? My blessing is that let everything happen to you. Let everything that is life happen to you. Have you come here to avoid life or to experience life? If you want to avoid life, I have a better technology than in engineering. If you want to avoid life, all it takes is 2 meters of rope to hang yourself from the ceiling. And it is not expensive either. I am talking of efficiency when alive. To try to avoid life is very negative. Our aliveness is very brief happening, but we shall be dead for a long time. So, taking one's life is not really an option. This happens by mistaking the psychological drama for the existential life. The moment you think of security, you are assisting death. I want you to know death does not need your assistance, death is super efficient. On the other hand, life needs your assistance. If you notice, whatever you do with life, no matter how much you do with life, there is still something more you can do with it. Life needs all your attention and efforts. Death does not need your support. It will anyway happen, and it will happen with absolute efficiency. There is no failure here. All shall pass. People think nothing new should happen to them, but they want an exciting life. How is this possible? This is a no win situation you're creating for yourself. What can happen to you at the most? At most, you'll die. There is nothing more than that can happen to you. And whatever happens in your life, you did not come here with an investment. You came empty handed. You cannot lose in this life. See how wonderful it is. Whatever happens, you're still on the profit side. So, what are you complaining about? This happened about 10 years ago. At that time, the stock market in India was going down. Some people in Mumbai brought a man to meet me. It seems he was initially worth about rupees 250 million. Then he took a beating in the stock market. In about 8 months' time, he was worth only about rupees 30 million. Now the man was broken, depressed, and wanting to commit suicide because he had only 30 million. He was in a bad state, so they wanted me to help him. I thought this was funny because for many Indians, rupees 30 million is more than heaven. If you give an option between heaven and rupees 30 million, they will choose rupees 30 million. But this man is depressed and wants to commit suicide because he has only rupees 30 million. This is not just about him, you are doing this to yourself all the time too. Let new things happen to you. If you create this kind of nothing should happen to me situation within yourself, you will become stagnant. Stagnation is death. If life does not move on, if new possibilities don't arise within you, you are living dead. This is the reason that even when nothing has gone wrong with people's lives, you can see so many long faces on the street. For most of them, life has worked out far better than they ever imagined. Materially, we are all living much better than our fathers and grandfathers did. But still, there are these long faces on the street. This is happening not because something has gone wrong. This is because of stagnation. You cannot live with a stagnation because that is like living death. Being living death is a fantastic experience, but to be death like when alive is horribly painful. If you're alive, it's wonderful. If you're dead, we are not bothered about you. There are too many dead people walking, which is why there is such misery on the planet. They were all bright and alive at one time. Now, slowly, they are half into the grave. Yes, with time, the physical body will deplete. That is why, if only psychological and physiological processes are in your experience, it is only natural that with the passage of time you will deplete. Only if the fundamental life energy is in your experience, if the right things are done about the life process, then you will not deplete with the age and rather become greatly enhanced. So it is only life which must be constantly cranked up. There is no need to invite or practice death, because death does not need your support.